Hello, this is Olivier. I'm reiterating what a black box self-opt is. Now that things have quieted down a bit and we're off the number 2 bot where I was for about 3 or 4 months in thousands of products, so that was pretty good. One weekend number 1, fallen off the charts. Okay, that's fine, gives me a break. I've got a new product coming next week. But what I want to do here is reiterate what the black box is all about. It is not a scam. Okay, it's simplicity, it's a pure simplicity at first. The concept is simple. Like Einstein said, most complex problems have a very simple solution. So the idea is simple. So it cannot be a scam. The idea is everywhere. It's a simple idea. What becomes a little bit more complicated is the coding and everything that went behind it. 7 versions to get it right. I think I have the correct version now. I'm very happy with it. I'm using it. I'm making money off it. Some people are not. Some people lost money. Some people went crazy. Some people made a lot of money, 20% a month, a week, and then lost a lot. Some are grinding away like they should, etc., etc., etc. Whatever. The problem that I think happened is I made this a little bit too open, the architecture too open, so too much twiddling, too much fiddling around, and now it's become a little bit complex to use, I guess. But let me reiterate what it's all about. And I don't think I've made that completely clear in the other videos because I didn't want people to copy me, etc. But now it really doesn't matter. You know, you can copy me as much as you want. Now the whole concept, okay, started by looking at these bands that you see here. Top band, bottom band, middle MA, okay? Or this is an MA. This is not a new concept. I know it looks like a well-known concept, but what I've done is taken it a lot further, because the problem with the original bands is they don't really adapt. They're fixed, they're based on old research, and the market changes all the time. So what I did was, first of all, calculated an MA here. That would, you can see it running here, use a self-optimization, okay, using your broker's data, using number of entries, using profit factors as filters, using now this new trend filter, etc., etc., to create an ideal line. Now this line, this MA line, okay, what I want to do is be above it or below it. So what I've done is use standard deviation to get a top band and a bottom band. Okay, these here between these is standard deviation. Standard deviation is great because standard deviation reacts extremely quickly to prices, unlike other indicators like stochastics, which is a very good indicator but can stay oversold or overbought for a very, very long time. Standard deviation reacts quickly to price, and yet so you can have these very great bands. Now what probably I haven't explained enough is that my standard deviation and my bands do a perfect fit by using your broker's data, going back 2,000 bars, going back 3,000 bars, etc. That's what I'm trying to get here, is a perfect fit. Okay, a perfect fit. Why? Because so everything is optimized. The middle band is optimized, top band is optimized, the standard deviation is optimized, the steps you're going to buy is optimized, etc., etc., etc. You can see it running here. So that's part of the technological, thanks to a very good coder, advance that I was making, and it really adapts to your broker's data. And every broker is different. You know, you can have CFDs, you can have all sorts of things. Everything's different. Okay, so you can get different results for different people. I'll agree. But what I like is this band to fit, because if you use a normal band, it doesn't fit. And my theory is I want to buy below the band. Anything below the band here is interesting, and I want to sell above the band, okay? And I want to do this constantly because markets range 75% of the times. Sometimes, and we've had months of trend markets, and this is great for trend robots, and they go back up right to the top, and then the trend will disappear, and we'll get in this very boring ranging markets, and then BBSO will be all the rage again, because that's what it does 75% of the time here. Okay, so I want to buy it down here, and I want to sell down here. Now, it's not as simple as that to buy down here, because you can walk down the band, you can do all sorts of things, you can stay here, but I can tell you that if you use 4-hour bands, and even if you don't want to buy my bot, okay, this is a freebie, use 4-hour bands, and you will always find a great spot to buy or sell if you are below an optimized band. If you are here, look at this. It didn't stay very long. Oh, here we go. 4-hour bands. It doesn't stay very long here, but look at that. Look at these points. They're great. You buy here. If you manage to buy here, okay, and there is a way I buy, which I'm not always going to reveal, but you want to buy around here, and look what happens. I mean, this is not a scam. This is a good method. You can do it yourself. If you don't want to buy the bot, put 4-hour bands up. Okay, make sure the bands are wide, and if you have the patience, which I don't, to stay all day and watch 4-hour bars being made, that's fine. Look here, it goes below the band. Okay, you've got to buy. This is not a scam. This is a good system. Okay, and the thing is tuning the robot and all that, and everybody wants to put it on a VPS, make it run 24 hours a day and have it done automatically. Okay, you can on 4 hours, but if you start fiddling with 5 hours, etc., and do strange pairs, and I want the profit factor like this, and I want that, and I'm going to fix my stop, and that's a problem with my open architecture, and then you get yourself into a mess. You don't understand what's going on. You say Olivier is a scammer, etc., etc. But just look at this. 4-hour bands, okay, narrowing of the bands, a bit of a squeeze, okay, and look at a great point to buy. Sorry, this is a good system, okay. Other systems, the way you traditionally use bands is people try to do breakout trades. That's fine, you want to do a breakout here where it breaks the band, but I think it's more dangerous, and my optimizations don't work. I much prefer to buy below the band, because it will always, look at this, you always get good points below the band just watching it with your own eyes. So this is what BBSO does. It tries to, the main module, which is the best module there, I must say, okay, the main module has the ability on larger time frames to make you money. It will give you an edge. I'm sorry. You can do it yourself if you want. You can get it programmed yourself. You don't have to buy my robot. But this is not a scam. This is a system that works. I've used it for years and years and years. It works. Okay? The only thing that you don't know is how to buy down here. Because there are certain ways, you can get yourself in a lot of trouble by buying too early. You can get yourself in trouble by buying breakouts. You can get yourself in trouble if you start, if a candle goes above the middle line, etc., etc. It gets more complex than that. But as a general rule, if you're starting out, put a 4-hour chart up, and anything that goes below these optimized bands is a buy. I'm sorry. You can buy my old black box, it costs $100, whatever. I've discounted this one to 500. I don't know. Maybe I should put it lower. I don't care anymore. I've got a new product coming out next week, which is very exciting. But please don't call me a scammer. This is probably the only system here that doesn't need CPUs. It doesn't need fast computers. It doesn't need mega internet connections. It's just old-fashioned investment. It's not a scam. Okay? Now, I've added these modules which have caused me so much problem. I should have never done it, but because as BBSO it doesn't trade very well on those 25% days, I've added a Renko module, which I'm very happy with at the moment. Actually, it's done very well since I fixed the boxes to 10 points on Euro. It just works well. This is like 10 point So you can see Brenko, I won't go through too much, but it's built in. You don't even need an offline chart. It's built in. That's also a technical, you know, wizardry that we've gone through here. So basically, I've gone through it before, but Renko builds boxes, okay? These are not time dependent. Each box can take 1 day, or it can take 3 minutes, or it can take 1 minute, etc. When the idea is when you get 3 boxes, you start taking a trade in the direction down, and here you have a very good trade, and as soon as it goes up, you get out, okay? And there's a trail, and it's automatic. It's a module. I'm not gonna draw too much on it. It's there. It usually picks up trends. I don't understand why people have a problem with the Renko. I have it on all the time. You know, I could be sleeping, and all of a sudden the euro goes up, and it will pick up the trend. I don't know what you guys are doing. I don't understand why you keep on saying I have Renko off, I have Renko on. It does badly on bad days. I really don't have a problem with it. Okay, I have another module in there which is my pet peeve, and actually it's not doing a lot of trades at the moment, which is kind of, and it's a squeeze break, and the squeeze is what you see here on this indicator, this blue area where you get very narrow bands, okay? And to compensate for the fact that sometimes Bbbso in narrow bands doesn't do very well, when we have a squeeze, it basically takes a trade in the breakout direction. And these trades are almost a gamble because, and there you can get stopped out, I agree. It's a module, you can switch it on and off, etc. Then we've added a pulse module, which is a volatility module, which is better for scalping, actually, which I've discovered on very low time frames, and there'll be more about that next week. Now, this is my entire system. It is not a scam. It's a good system. Stop calling me a scammer. I have 30 years experience. It is not a lie. I have worked at Credit Suisse. It is not a lie. I was a director at Credit Suisse. I was a director at Deutsche Bank. I've been trading for 30 years. I left a wonderful career in the city where I could have just stayed. I had guarantees. I had everything. I was making a lot of money. I had a nice wife. And I left everything to trade, okay? Because I wanted to be my own boss. Since 2001, I have traded. And I have lived off my trading. I have a nice house. I have 2 cars. I'm by the sea. I have all the nice ladies I want. You know, my life is fine. I live in a free country. I live in a beautiful country called France where they take 3/4 of your money. But that's besides the case, the government. But we live well. So I don't need all these people coming at 4 o'clock in the morning and telling me I'm an idiot, I'm a scammer, I'm this and that. I don't understand why they're doing it. I really don't understand. So it's been really stressful. I didn't know what to do. I'm by myself. But that's the way it goes. So please realize this is my system. It's not going to change. If you don't want to buy it, don't buy it. If I can make it cheaper, I'll make it cheaper, whatever. You know, I want most people to have it. I want most people to understand it. And I'm going to try and make a very, very simple hardwired model next week that everybody can access. Thank you very much for listening.